Well, here we are. After a month of European football across Germany, the Euro 2024 final is finally upon us, and somehow, for the second Euros in a row, England are in it. I think we can all agree that England's journey to this final has not at all been an easy watch. Our performances have often been laboured. There's almost been a reluctance to fully unleash these attacking talents that we have at our disposal, and we've had to come back from behind not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times, with 3 of those 4 reprises coming in the knockout games alone. And yet this bounce back ability, these bursts of quality that seem to explode out from beneath the surface when we really need them, Bellingham's overhead kick, the best 5 penalties in England's history, Saka's excellent equaliser, and Watkins' impossibly tight last gasp winner, have shown that this England side is a different beast to the one that we saw fall at the last hurdle in the final 3 years ago. For all our doubts, this is an England team that have turned up in the do or die moment so far, and with our best performance in the competition so far in the semi-final against the Netherlands, we appear to be peaking at just the right time. Could the stars finally be aligning? Of course, few will disagree that our opponents, Spain, have been the best side in the tournament so far, and they will truly be our most challenging test. Spain have become the first side in history to win 6 Euro matches in a row, eliminating tournament giants Croatia, Italy, Germany and France in the process with an eye-catching attacking brand of football. The stats back up manager De La Fuente's side too. They've scored the most goals, created the most attacking chances, and they've kept the second most clean sheets. So, for one final time, I'm going to talk you through Spain's tournament so far, how they set up, the key danger men in that team, and how I think England must approach this final to end those 58 years of hurt. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Aside from an early round of 16 exit to Italy in Euro 2016, Spain are no strangers to the deeper depths of European competitions. But the sun setting on a golden generation that won back-to-back Euros in 2008 and 2012 had cast some doubts over the capabilities and resilience of this next wave of Spanish talent. They had threatened to go all the way in 2020 but fell short in the semi-final, losing on penalties to eventual tournament winners Italy. And penalties once again became the bane of their existence 18 months later in the Qatar World Cup, with Morocco this time surprising them in the round of 16. A change of coach has seemingly done the trick though, with De La Fuente replacing Enrique following his resignation in December 2022. De La Fuente was a surprising choice at the time, and not unlike Gareth Southgate in that his club managerial career has been indistinct, but 10 years working through the Spanish youth ranks has led him to the senior team hot seat. His appointment did draw similar criticism and questions at the time, but his experience in youth tournament football has proven useful, having won the Under-19 Euro Championship in 2015 and the Under-21 Championship in 2019. It didn't take long for him to translate that into senior team success either. Spain won the 2023 Nations League final against Croatia 6 months after his appointment, exercising their shootout demons with a 5-4 win on penalties. They simultaneously delivered an almost perfect qualification run for Euro 2024, winning 7 of their 8 fixtures with only a 2-0 loss to Scotland of all teams to blight their record. Some had touted their initial opponents in Germany as the group of death, with Italy, Croatia and Albania joining them in Group B, but they qualified for the knockouts without breaking a sweat. They made an emphatic start on day 2 of the tournament, cruising to a 3-0 lead over Croatia in the first half with goals from Morata, Ruiz and Carvajal. They secured their spot in the round of 16 just 5 days later with a 1-0 win over defending Euro champions Italy, dominating with 20 shots to Italy's 4, despite that narrow lead coming courtesy of a Calafiori own goal. And they maintained their 100% record in the competition with another 1-0 win over Albania in their final game of Group B, with Ferran Torres sealing the win for a greatly rotated Spanish side. Georgia initially threatened to shock the Spanish in the round of 16 when they took the lead. Spain's first goal conceded in the competition after defender Robin Lenormand put Georgia's cross into his own net. But the Spanish assault proved too strong, with their 35 shots in that match culminating in a 4-1 win thanks to goals from Rodri, Ruiz, Williams and Olmo. That win set up a colossal quarter-final clash against hosts Germany, a match that was every bit as scintillating as it promised to be as the two sides went at each other with aggression for 120 minutes. The Germans made themselves known very early in the match, with Toni Kroos smashing through Pedri just 8 minutes in ending his tournament and somehow escaping without a booking to show for it. And for the first time in the tournament, the Germans had more possession and more shots than the Spanish, but De La Fuente's side had the quality when it mattered most. Dani Olmo broke the deadlock on 51 minutes with 16-year-old Lamine Yamal setting up his third goal of the competition. And although Wirtz forced extra time with his 89th minute equaliser, Spain would have the last laugh when Marino headed in the winner in the 119th minute, just seconds before a penalty shootout was going to be confirmed. The greatly experienced Carvajal was sent off for a second yellow shortly after in his bid to seal the win, but it didn't matter on the night because Spain were through to their second consecutive Euro semi-final. Pedri's injury and suspensions for Carvajal and Lenormand meant De La Fuente couldn't field his desired 11 against France in that semi-final, forcing the manager to introduce Jesus Navas and Nacho into the mix, while Dani Olmo was trusted with a place in the starting lineup for the first time. This rotation did little to dent their chances though, because despite France being the more seasoned team in recent competitions, they posed Spain less threat than Germany on Tuesday evening. Now that hadn't looked to be the case when Kolo Muani tucked away Mbappe's cross just 9 minutes into the match. But Lamine Yamal's first goal of the tournament on 21 minutes, a stunning hit from outside the box, made him the youngest ever goalscorer at the Euros and restored balance to the game. Dani Olmo then stunned the French just 4 minutes later, darting through the box and placing the ball into the left corner to be turned home by French defender Koundé. And with the lead secured, Spain then demonstrated their defensive qualities too for the remainder of play, weathering France's attempts to pull even and killing the game by retaining possession. Another big scalp, another win in this tournament, and another final now awaits for Spain, presenting them with the opportunity to win a 4th European Championship, a victory that would make them the most decorated side in the history of the competition. Now let's talk about Spain's tactics and the pivotal figures that have carried them to this final. In terms of formation, Spain began with a 4-3-3, but Pedri's injury against Germany has seen them shift to the popular 4-2-3-1. Bilbao's keeper Unai Simon, the manager's keeper of choice during both of his Youth Euro Championship wins, has been excellent between the sticks, conceding just 3 goals in 6 matches. Laporte and Lenormand have been his favoured centre-back pairing when available, as have Carvajal and Cucurella at fullback, and the latter of which has been a standout attacking threat on that left flank. His 2 centre-mids in front of the Spanish defence are Fabian Ruiz and of course Rodri, a player in strong contention for player of the tournament. We know what he can do, he needs little more praise from me, but his firefighting in the middle, his line-breaking passes and his tendency to pop up for a goal when it's needed makes him the #1 danger man that England must prohibit in my eyes. Though thankfully his staggering unbeaten run of 74 matches, excluding losses on penalties, came to an end in Man City's 2-1 loss to Manchester United in the FA Cup final, courtesy of a Kobbie Mainoo winner. More of that on Sunday please, Kobbie. Now, being the competition's top scorers, there is of course much in attack for England to be afraid of as well. Nico Williams has added pace and depth to Spain's trademark passing football, while Lamine Yamal, 17 by the time of Sunday's final, has proven to be every bit of the prospect that he's been touted to be with 3 assists and a goal in the tournament so far. Dani Olmo, the competition's joint top scorer, has found his way into the starting lineup after 2 goals from the bench and another against France, and he will join Morata in pressing England's defence. The three lines must not allow Olmo the freedom that he has had so far. Morata himself has only found the net once so far, but his pressure against the backline has created space for Spain's wider attacking talents, and deputy strikers Marino and Torres have both got off the mark. All in all, this Spanish team is the closest to being the full package that we've seen in this tournament. Their attack is scintillating, their press is relentless, and their defensive midfield has bolstered any frailties that there may be in that backline. There is very, very good reason for England to be cautious going into this match, because if we don't bring our A game, Spain will take us to the cleaners. But with that said, I also think there is good reason for Spain to be afraid of England in this final. Gareth Southgate has been questioned throughout this tournament, by myself included. I've felt at many stages that we have progressed further in spite of his plans, not because of them. However, against the Netherlands in the first half in particular, this team started to click. Southgate's late switch in the tournament to a back three with wing backs has balanced this team at last, and just in time for our biggest test. Koeman's second half shuffle may have reduced our attacking space, but Luke Shaw's introduction further equalised that lopsided England team, and we became hard to break down. In the games that we've conceded, we haven't let in more than one, and staying tight will naturally be vital in this final. 6 of the past 7 Euro finals have been decided by a single goal margin, or in the case of Euro 2020, a penalty shootout. And for as frustrating as we have been, I can't help but go back to the point that we have quality all over the pitch and off of it. And that has shown itself time and time again throughout this tournament in the moments that matter. I spoke at the start about those 4 moments of brilliance from Bellingham, the penalty takers, Saka and Watkins. And there's been so much talk about this being down to luck, but when it's happened 4 times, that can't just be luck. There is quality there too. And this team does have winners in it. Bellingham has 3 trophies to his name already this season. He is a serial winner just like Rodri. Similarly, Kyle Walker and John Stones are some of the most decorated defenders in world football right now. Jordan Pickford is the greatest keeper in England's history and has made at least 1 penalty save in every shootout that he's been involved in. Harry Kane, for as bewildering as he has been, is joint top scorer at the tournament, and he could seal the golden boot with a goal in the final, provided that Olmo doesn't score. His converted penalty against the Netherlands made him England's all-time top scorer in knockouts, and that's taken his total goals and assists this season to 69. That is an absurd number, and despite my questions over his fitness, him dropping deep all of the time, no other nation in world football would debate his inclusion in the starting lineup for this final. Now, I must say I'm not trying to over-egg my praise for England because we have been confusing and often lacklustre in this tournament. But we have stepped up to the plate when needed, we have delivered when it really matters, and if we can conjure just one final moment of magic against the Spanish, that 58-year wait could be over. Southgate has been continually tactically questioned during his tenure as England manager, but switching system, having the balls to take off Kane and Foden in that semi-final has carried us to another final. That must be commended, and now against the best team in the competition, Southgate has one final opportunity to put those doubts to rest. I'm not expecting any changes here other than potentially Shaw, so for me this match is going to be all about winning our individual battles. Lamine Yamal must be stopped by either Trippier or Shaw, and an early statement must be made against him if we're to restrict him from having the same early freedom that we allowed Xavi Simons. On the opposite side, Walker will need to be on top form to assist Saka in nullifying both Cucurella and Williams. Perhaps most importantly, the now square setup of our midfield, Rice, Mainu, Bellingham and Foden will need to be fully synchronised to keep Rodri at bay. Limit his impact and this game can go our way. Olmo, of course, is going to be another incredibly tricky customer, and both Mainu and our 3 centre-backs will need to give Rice more of a hand than they did after his fall against Simmons. Win our individual battles, take our chances as we have been in the moments that matter, and make the tactical changes when they're needed, and we can win this match. I found myself incredibly nervous before the Netherlands match kicked off, and I'm obviously going to be a mess on Sunday before 8 o'clock. But at half time in the semi-final, I found those nerves reduced considerably, and I think that's because I was just nervous about this team turning up. In 90 minutes so many times during this tournament, we just hadn't seen that, but we finally did turn up against the Netherlands. And so that's all I can ask in this final is turn up, do what you've been doing. Southgate has to be brave, and the rest will and should take care of itself. So let's round off with my final prediction of the tournament. How do you possibly go about predicting this one? It's going to be another incredibly tight game. Like I say, so many of these Euro finals often are. And over these past 2 rounds, I've continually said a draw in 90 minutes, extra time, and then penalties. But this time, I don't know why, I'm going for extra time, but a 2-1 England win. I don't know why, that's just a feeling I have. I'm not going to explain it any more than that. So let's go on to you. What's your prediction for this final? Do you think England are finally going to get the win, or are Spain going to win a 4th Euros? Let me know in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this preview, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched my previews throughout the tournament, and there will be one final video on Monday once we find out the outcome of this final. Thanks again, I'll hopefully see you in that final video, and hopefully it will be a joyous one. Come on, England!